Hey everybody, it's Jimmy J. Fro Frosty Man. It's been a while since I did a car video, um, so I decided to show you what I've been up to. This is my little Subaru. Here, let me get some extra light. This is my little Subaru. You can see here, this portion in here was white, and I took it out and painted it silver. The whole car is one gigantic black blob, and I spray painted it, or airbrushed it actually, this nice metallic blue color. Detailed the front end, painted the metal inside silver, touched the wheels up and the rear end. Nice. And now it's just, I like this car. I really like the way it turned out. Beautiful looking Subaru WRX. I guess put that over there. This one was a little VW Bug. It had like a tan spot up here, like it was a cloth roof, you know. I didn't like the way it looked. It kind of made it look blah. I added this little chrome paint here, headlights, cleaned it all up, took it apart, gave it some nice dune buggy type of wheels, you know, Sportster rims, and I like the way it turned out. Detailed the back there too, you can see. Just a little change on that. This one, I had these wheels, and the car was kind of ugly. And so I repainted the whole thing. It's a Ferrari, you can see. Airbrushed it. Didn't have to do much detail work to it, but I just thought it looked better with the gold colored paint and gold colored rims. This is a really quick just wheel swap to give it some nice looking wheels, you know. This is a 1970 Ford Escort. I bet you guys didn't know the Escort was that old. So it came with some pretty nice detail to it. So I just wanted to it had these ugly looking white rims on it, so I got rid of them. And then this Caravan was one big blob of white with red windshields. I changed the rims on it to this, touched them up a little bit, added a little detail to the front end, the headlights there, and painted it this metallic fluorescent green color. And I think it came out pretty good, pretty cool looking with the red on green and the silver. Turned out pretty good. Sharp looking car now. This car got a wheel upgrade, or truck actually. Painted it yellow, detailed the front and detailed the back, and painted the bed black. So it turned out pretty good. This one is my El Camino. And you can see here, it's just basically a complete repaint job. And I think these are new rims. I gave them nice looking rims, you know. And this is like a magenta color. Turned out really good. This here is long bed dually. Chevy pickup truck. You can see I did the headlights there. I didn't change the wheels to actual dualies because I kind of like the way it fit with the single wheels in there up under the dually flare. Detailed the back end, the front end, and then you can see here when I set it down, the front wheels go up. So you give it that low rider effect, see? And how I did that is the metal parts that push down on the wheels, like this and this. I hollowed them out so the wheels can push up into the body, give it a lowrider effect. It's pretty cool. This one was simple change. Old 19, what was this? 64 Chevy Impala, two-door. It was a pretty cool looking car to begin with, you know. Decent. I had to detail the rear end though. But the thing I really didn't like about it is it had a pure white interior. And not many people got white interiors back then. Red was one of the more populars, blue, and especially with the black cars. So I took it apart and painted the interior. You can see there. Nice and red. I think it helps the car pop. This one was a blobby looking piece of crap. The decals all over it. So I just cleaned it up really. Just took all the decals off and rubbed out the paint, detailed the rear like that, detailed the front, and now it looks a lot better, you know. This one's a big modification job. You can see here I modified the rear and the front wheels, made them bigger, and I added the custom exhaust pipes, detailed the back end, and detailed the front end. So you can see it looks pretty tough now. So I like the way that truck looks. This one had some nasty looking details, or what do you call them, decals on it. So I cleaned them off and cleaned up the body, took it apart, and I repainted this part of the body here over the wheels, the running board, and over the front wheels. Painted it a gloss black, so you know it's nice and shiny. Thought it'd make it pop better. Painted the front end in gold and the headlights silver. Same thing, the exhaust pipes are silver back here, gold bumper. And there you go. It looks pretty sharp now. I should have probably did some before stuff. And I got a sheriff's car gasser. I left the old decals on there and just turned it into a gasser. Lifted the front end, you can see here. It's pretty cool. Exhaust pipes. Put the engine in the front there like that with the hood off, and I just kind of like the way it looked, you know. Because gassers aren't always shiny. It's kind of their thing, you know. It's a Corvette. Basically, this one's just a paint and a little bit of detail. Taillights, repainted the whole thing a nice little shiny silver. And touched up the wheels. Not a lot to that one, but, you know, just trying to get better at my airbrushing technique. This one is a original paint job, original wheels. But what I did here, and it's kind of hard to notice, but right here I took out a little bit here on the front, 2 posts, and lowered the front roof to give it a nice little slant, and then glued it into place. And I had to trim the glass to get it to fit, but that's what I did. So looks really good now. And just basically polished it up, made it nice and shiny again. this one, I forgot to do the rear end on this one. This little Audi Quattro. And it's a complete repaint. You can see the rear end there. It needs to be detailed. I forgot to detail it. And then I took this Porsche and I took and changed the wheels on it. I mean, look at that bad boy. Turned into like a little mini monster Porsche. And you can see here the custom axles, and they've been JB welded to the bottom. And so I just basically made a nice little four-wheel drive Porsche. I think it looks pretty cool. And you've seen this one before. I had to redo it. My dog decided to scratch against the shelving, and it rolled right off the back and fell down on top of the heat and the heater vent, and just shattered the tailgate here and here and knocked these two out. So I had to re-glue these, remake this railing, and remake this railing. So just thought I'd show you guys so you can see that you can repair your custom jobs if you do good work to begin with. And then I've got my Rolls-Royce cars, my little mini collection here. This is a repainted Rolls-Royce. This is the well, it's four-seater in the back here, and then the chauffeur driver section up here. Repainted it, redetailed it. You can see the front end here. I made it gold, painted the car black, and silvered out the headlights, changed the rims to nice fancy looking spoke type rims, and gold paint on the rear bumper. And this, you can see it's got a semi-gloss. This is my first gloss overcoat attempt here. And it's a little rough. It's not as smooth as it could be. It's tricky painting with that gloss. Is if you get too much on it, runs, and then you can see the run marks. And the next in the series is the four-door family Rolls-Royce. This is the original purple, original decals on there. I changed the rims to these fancy purple rims here. Or, I'm sorry, red. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting. And just painted this silver, and detailed the front out, and just cleaned it all up and polished it. So it goes from the chauffeur to the family, and then it goes to the little roadster. Rolls-Royce Roadster. You can see here. Just painted this stuff silver. This silver. Oh, great. One of my wheels, custom axles fell off, see? So I have to repair that. But that's okay. I got new equipment for that. And I painted this, and this was my second attempt at the gloss, semi-gloss, and you can see it turned out quite a bit better. See, much more fluid, much more even. So I just had to learn to be patient with it and put it on very thin coats and let it dry. So that's all my current cars that I've done lately. The big news is, yeah, I took a bunch of my other, cars that I didn't find really special, like that Subaru or my Rolls-Royce collection, and I wrapped them all up, and my wife gave them to the clothing closet store. It's called. It's basically free clothing to the public, and plus they have toys and whatnot. And I went in there about a month and a half after my wife gave them. I went in there with her, and the lady that runs the shop, Keisha, she told me that they worked with a special toys for African kids. So now I find this amazing, and I'm kind of honored. My cars that I restored, and did wheel stops and made them look pretty and whatnot, are now in Africa for kids to play with. And I was like, wow. I don't. It touched me. It moved me. I thought it was really cool. So I thought I'd share that with you guys, because you never know what God can do with your hobbies and projects, And I got this one. I'm looking forward to doing this. They call this a Very 8. It's a Corvair. It looks like about a 65 Corvair 2-door. And I'm turning it into a convertible, because the roof was just completely smashed in. And you can see here, you got to trim it out, file it. This is kind of like a before, and it's got a V8 in the back attached to the transaxle. And believe it or not, this was actually a real kit that they used to sell back then in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. They aftermarket custom kit to put a V8 engine in this light little Corvair, and it's rear engine drive. Rear wheel drive with the rear engine, so all the weight's on there, and it would just take off and go like crazy. These cars are fast enough anyhow, because the 65 140 was capable with the turbocharger, and wrapping the turbocharger for increased boost would beat a stock Corvette in a quarter mile in 65. And it didn't go over well with the Corvette owners. And then Nader wrote his ridiculous review on Corvair's unsafe at any speed, because he didn't understand how a swing axle worked, and the car got canceled. But it was a really nice car, pretty well advanced, And the crazy thing is, all the cars we drive on now are swing axles. The only difference is ours has a limit on the movement of the swing axles, but the car couldn't have tipped over, because it couldn't, because that axle would, when you're cornering hard, the cornering outside axle could go like this, but eventually the car's not going to tip. Eventually it'll jump. The wheel will jump back flat. So it just wouldn't have done it. But he didn't understand anything. He was just looking to make a name for himself, like a lot of people do lately in America. They don't care about truth. They just want to make a name for themselves. But it was a sharp little car, and I found that pretty amazing that they actually caught a piece of Americana hot rod history with that little car. Alright, well, that's my new video, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.